These are 3 investments to avoid once you hit 40 years and above. You know why? I have seen a lot of people making mistakes, especially when they hit this age, because you're pressing the panic button. You don't even know where to go. You end up doing anything, then you mess up everything. And don't forget this, that when you hit 40, it's a very critical age because you're catering for 2 things. One, if you have kids, you're wondering about their future, and also you're wondering about your retirement. This is good. Just in case you're watching me for the first time, go ahead and hit that subscription button. This is the kind of video I make each and every day, so you never miss a point. And also, if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for your eyeballs. Leave a comment on the comment section. Now, the first investment that you're supposed to avoid is the investment called speculative investment. Number one, speculative investment. Should I call it a trial and error? What does that mean? It's an investment that you are getting in, but you're getting in to speculate. You aren't really sure what this is. Let's say you've learned about something today. You don't even know what it is, but you can see a lot of people hyping it, saying, hey, get into it, you're making money, you're doing this. And then there you are. You take all your quote unquote dear money, you put in that particular investment, and you don't even know what it is. And then guess what happens? Things go south. Then you're panicking. You come to my inbox. And I'm telling you this because I usually get inbox people asking me, hey, you know what, Joseph? I invested in 1, 2, 3 things and now I can't withdraw my money. I don't know their conditions they're giving me. They're telling me to stop up money so that I can be able to, sort of, I don't know. So the point here is, do not get into a speculative investment. I'm not saying that you shouldn't try the new things that are coming in. No, you should. But before you do that, make sure that you understand what it is. In other words, I'm saying this: do not get into an investment that you do not understand. Actually, that is being ignorant. You're supposed to be very, very careful. And if you find this investment, or whichever the investment it is, you find it attractive, you find it worth investing in something like that, just get a professional to sit you down, to explain to you, to actually do an analysis of that investment, to see whether it is worth investing, to see what are the risks involved, to see whether the investment is registered and everything. Is it recognized? For how long have they been in operation and everything like that? What are the percentage in terms of the risk? By the way, how many of you here do what we call the risk analysis before you invest your money? You have to understand the kind of investment that you're getting your money into. Is it a high risk? Is it a moderate risk? Or is it a low risk? So that you can be able to see what you're getting into. So avoid what we call the speculative or this trial and error, unless maybe you've already invested in other stable areas, and let's say, for example, you don't even know what are bitcoins, or you don't even know what are cryptocurrency, and you would love to get started, but you've already invested in other stable areas. You have yourself some real estate, you have yourself some apartments, you have yourself some other verifiable investments. But then you'll be like, you know what, probably this might be a good thing in future. You can take like, I usually tell people, if you have to go the speculative way, do not exceed 5% of your portfolio. Take 5% of your portfolio, now you can speculate with that. The thing is, you find people, they're even speculating with over 50%. Sometimes they even invest, or they do all the speculating investment with over 100% of their money. And then the next minute, they are crying. They're saying, hey, you know what, I got con and all that. And then they start regretting. So avoid those speculative investments or the trial and error, because time is not on your side. Now, the number 2 investment that you should avoid the moment you hit 40 years and above, it is called get rich quick investment. Get rich quick investments. Have you ever heard of those? Get rich quick. By the way, there is nothing wrong with getting rich quick. There's nothing wrong, by the way. If you can get a means of getting rich quick, provided it is legal and you're not harming anybody, there is nothing wrong with going with that route. But when I say getting rich quick investments, they're offering what we call unrealistic returns. This is where you're being told, hey, you know what? For example, there is a video I made. There is a city in Kenya called Eldoret, and there were people there investing. They were being promised 18% of their returns per month. So whatever you invest, you get 18%. That is over 200% per year, over 200% per year. Do you know what that means? It means that if you invest your 10 million, it means at the end of the year, you'll get back your 10 million and another 10 million. Literally, you will double your money. On a very serious note, the ultra wealthy, this is where they should be investing. Because if you're worth 40 billion, then it means at the end of the year you have doubled your money. And if you go for another year, then you have tripled your money. But why don't they go there? Because they know that is not a realistic what? Investment. Now what happens? You're being offered a very crazy return. Somebody tells you 18% per month. I didn't say per year, I said per month. So if you were to multiply this by 12, then that is over 200% in 1 year. Then of course this is unrealistic returns. They will actually realize that they're offering what we call the pyramid scheme, whereby those people who joined earlier, they are being paid by the money of guys who are joining late. And then what happens with the pyramid scheme is that you find you don't have more new guys who are joining to pay the previous guys who had joined. And then what happens? You are in a stalemate, you're in a crisis. Then all of a sudden the whole pyramid scheme just collapses. So the point is, just avoid these get rich quick schemes. You see, these investments are being this is how you can identify these schemes. It is where you find the people who are telling you to invest. They are so much into you, begging you, please, 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 hurry, get in. You make a lot of money. They sound they are so caring. They sound that they are so worrying and they are so minding about you. Listen, nobody cares about you and nobody invites you to make money. Okay, you're supposed to be very careful. Nobody invites you to make money. Nobody tells you, hey, you know what, guys, money is here. We all come here because this is where the money is and go. No, nobody tells you that. Okay, so what happens? You're supposed to be very keen whenever you're being invited to make money in the so and so called investments. So the thing I always tell people is this: first of all, ask them what are their returns, and then you run that across all other investments. Another question which is very crucial: always ask them, or if not asking them, then find out where do they invest that money. Because what happens, the moment you invest your money, they have to prove where they invest so that to get the returns back. But people don't ask that question. You're just worried about you investing and getting the cash. How about them? Where do they invest that money? Because you can't tell me they collect our money and go sit with it in their houses and their homes. No, they have to invest it to make sure that the money is earning money for us to make money, both them and me. But people don't ever ask that question. So these what we call the get rich quick schemes. And these things are usually, so much synonymous with young people. They tell you invest in something. Let me tell you one thing. The thing that I usually discuss here on investing, it takes time. It is so boring. You have to be consistency, sacrifice, and discipline. And how many people are ready to pay the price of all those 5 things? Not many. Very, very few people. Probably 2%. There are the people who are ready to do exactly that. The rest, they just want to press the thing and cut the shortcut and be able to become wealthy. And let me tell you one thing. The process of making money, first of all, this is how it is. This is how I was told by my mentor. When you are building, it takes a lot of money. Or rather, sometimes it can even take a lot of money. It takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, consistency, mastering, skills, and everything. You can even take a whole 3 years building something without even getting anything substantive out of it. But now after the 3 years, the thing you've been building now, it is strong enough to make you money. And then within a period of say 3 months, 4 months, boom, you become wealthy. You have a lot of money. But you see, it has taken you a lot of years, but people don't see what has taken you to be there. For example, coming here and recording a video and posting it and getting 100,000 views, say in 1 day, people be like, oh, this thing is easy, just recording video and posting there. You go record the video, you post there, you get 2 views or even no views. Why? Because they don't understand. Before you reach to a point whereby you can gather 100,000 views, it has taken you years and years of mastery of that particular thing that you're doing. So the thing is here is, do not get into these investments that are promising you these get rich quick schemes. No, please. And I said there's nothing wrong with you getting rich quick. Actually, you should be getting rich quick, but using the right procedures and the right ways without losing your money. Are we together? Now, the last one, which is very, very important, is this investment that are undocumented, unregistered, and unverifiable. Are we together? Number 3, these investments that are what? Undocumented, unregistered, and also unverifiable. Verifiable. This investment, they are not documented. Like, you cannot have the paperwork of these investments. Like, where are their certificates of registration? Which institution in the government recognizes this investment? Who regulates it? Okay, you actually try to find who are the board members and all those kind of things. They are not there. They don't even have a physical office. Now you're like, it is not documented. it is not registered, it cannot be verified. Meaning in terms like, if you go to their website, it's poorly maintained. You go to their website looking for their contacts, probably it is there, sometimes it's not even working. You ring the whole day, nobody's speaking, or they don't even have a physical office. So these are the investments that you're supposed to be very, very keen, careful, and cautious. So because this unverifiable, undocumented, it is usually how the scams usually are packaged. And then they promise you these high returns, and then there you are, you get into that investment. Then all of a sudden money just goes in the downdrain. Then you start asking, hey, how can I sue them? How can you even sue something that you don't even know where to go to, because you cannot even know where these people are? And that is where the problem is. It is always good to be very careful. I remember I was met by a certain guy who told me, hey, he has seen a gig somewhere where he can put his money and can earn a lot of money. I told the guy, please, this is an outright scam. Please stay away from this. And the guy by then seemed to be very, very smart. He told me, no, Joseph, I have actually received my first payment. And I was like, of course, that is exactly what happens. You receive your first payment, your second payment, but the reality is you'll never receive payment equivalent to the money that you had invested. They just send you all that so that you can share that information to other people so that you can join them, just the way you are sharing to me. But what I can tell you is this: avoid that thing from the one go. I actually told the guy, the money that you've already invested, it is already gone. The guy wasn't believing. After 2 weeks, the guy was back to me. He told me, it's true, Joseph, my money is gone. I can't even find it. And then he was asking me, how do I sue them? I told him, no, there's no way of suing them. It is done. You can't even, because this website are brought down the moment you actually realize that you can't withdraw your money. It is that is exactly how the things happen. So it is good to avoid these things. It is good to avoid these things that are not registered. And that's why I always tell people, if you come to Kenya, or if you're a Kenyan and you want to invest, all the investments are regulated, they are registered. For example, if you go to the MMF, they are registered by the CMA. If you go to SACCOs, they are registered by SASRA. If you go to any banks in Kenya, they are registered or regulated by CBK. If you go to the Nairobi Securities Exchange, you need a stockbroker, they are regulated by the CMA. They are also monitored by the Nairobi Securities Exchange. So don't let anything or anybody come from nowhere, then purport to offer ABC services, and yet you cannot be able to verify that. So stay keen, stay put, stay alert, because scams are all over the place and they are there to steal from you. This is good, Joseph. Try the best as I can to make sure that I share. And you can just imagine at that age, that money being stolen and actually going to the downtrain. What do you think will happen? It will actually hurt you a lot. Why? Because you don't even have time by your side. And this is that a crucial age that you really need to be careful what you're doing. And for God's sake, at that age, you're now becoming, you're now, as being as, we say what? By default in the society, you're being assigned some responsibilities, being a mentor, showing people the way, you've gathered a lot of experience and such kind of a thing. And there you are, you're investing in these as speculative or these areas where are not registered. That is quite unfortunate. This is good, Joseph. Don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure that you subscribe, and see you in the next one.